Scary telling.
I am happy here. The cottage is small, but it's cozy and warm. The leaves outside are in their brilliant plumage of ruby and amber, and the sunset every night is breathtaking. I can't imagine living anywhere else. My days are simple but fulfilling. I tend to my garden every day, making sure that everything is healthy and growing well. The village market provides me with all the food I need, and the villagers are always friendly and welcoming. I sit in my rocking chair and listen to the birdsong, feeling at peace with the world. The autumn leaves fall gently to the ground, and I can't help but smile as I watch them. They remind me of the beauty of life, of how everything can change so quickly but still be so beautiful. It's a reminder to cherish every moment and to be grateful for what I have. I've been living here for a while now, and I've gotten to know many of the villagers. There's the baker and his son, who always give me a warm smile and a freshly baked loaf of bread. There's the young woman at the tailor's, who often helps me mend my clothes. And there's the old man who works the mill, who always has a story to tell. Sometimes, I sit and watch the villagers as they go about their day. They always seem to be smiling, but I wonder if they're truly happy. I wonder if they have any worries or fears, or if they're just as content as I am. But for now, I am happy here. The cottage is my sanctuary, and the village is my home. I can't imagine living anywhere else, and I hope that I never have to leave this beautiful place. As I sit in my rocking chair, I notice a figure in the woods that seems to be watching me. At first, I brush it off as a trick of the light, but the figure keeps getting closer every day. It's hard to make out any features, but I can sense that something is not right. As the days pass, I can't help but feel on edge. The figure seems to be getting bolder, appearing closer to my cottage each day. I try to ignore it, telling myself that it's just my imagination, but the feeling of being watched never goes away. One day, I walk to the village market, and the villagers' smiles seem wider than ever before. They're friendly as always, but there's something off about them. They're almost too perfect, and I can't help but feel like they're hiding something from me. As I make my way back to the cottage, I notice that my rocking chair is different. It was oak yesterday, but today it's mahogany. I try to rationalize it, telling myself that I must have made a mistake, but I know deep down that something strange is happening. That night, I have trouble sleeping. Every time I close my eyes, I see the figure in the woods staring at me with its sunken eyes and twisted grin. I feel like it's getting closer, like it's reaching out to me, and I can't shake the feeling that something terrible is about to happen. The next day, I try to keep myself busy, but the feeling of being watched never goes away. I notice that the villagers are acting even stranger than before. The baker is staring blankly at his oven, and the old man at the mill doesn't move for hours. It's like they're stuck in some sort of trance, and I'm the only one who's aware of it. As I sit in my rocking chair that evening, I can feel my heart racing. The figure in the woods is closer than ever before, and I can sense that it's about to make its move. I try to tell myself that I'm just being paranoid, but I know deep down that something terrible is about to happen. That night, I have a vivid dream that unveils the true horror of the situation. In my dream, the village unveils itself to be something else entirely. The villagers turn into twisted, grotesque beings that destroy everything in their path. They seem to be searching for something that they can't find. I watch in horror as they tear apart everything in their path, including the other cottage dweller. The man who woke up with me on my first day in the village is screaming, but they don't seem to hear him. They tear him apart, limb by limb, until there's nothing left. I try to scream, but no sound comes out. I feel paralyzed, unable to move or even breathe. I can feel their cold, lifeless hands reaching for me, pulling me into their twisted world. When I wake up, I'm drenched in sweat. It takes me a few moments to realize that it was just a dream, but the fear doesn't go away. I feel like I'm living in a nightmare, unable to escape the horrors of the village. As the days pass, the figure in the woods gets closer and closer. I try to tell myself that it's just my imagination, but I know deep down that something terrible is about to happen. One day, I'm sitting in my rocking chair when I hear a blood-curdling scream. It's coming from the tailor's, and I know that something terrible has happened. I rush over to the shop, but it's too late. The tailor girl is lying on the floor, her throat cut open with her own scissors. I feel sick to my stomach. This is too much, too real. I try to run, but I can't. I'm frozen in place, unable to move or even breathe. That's when I see him. The other cottage dweller is standing in the corner, his eyes empty and lifeless. He's holding the scissors, his hands covered in blood. I know that he's the one who did it, that he's responsible for the girl's death. I try to scream, but no sound comes out. I feel like I'm trapped in a nightmare, unable to escape the horrors of the village. I know that I need to confront the other cottage dweller, the man who murdered the tailor girl. But I'm scared of what he might do to me. I make my way to his cottage, my heart pounding in my chest. I knock on the door, and he opens it without a word. His eyes are empty, his face blank. "What do you want?" he asks, his voice monotone. I try to compose myself, to find the right words to say. "I saw what you did," I say, my voice shaking. "You killed the tailor girl." He looks at me, his eyes still empty. "Yes," he says. "I did." "Why?" I ask, my voice barely above a whisper. "Because she was one of them," he says, gesturing to the village. "They're all monsters, and she was one of them." I can feel the fear rising in me. This man is clearly insane, and I'm alone with him in his cottage. I try to back away, but he steps closer, his eyes fixed on mine. "You're not like them," he says. "You're different. You're special. We can escape together." I shake my head, backing away even further. "No," I say. "I have to get out of here. I have to leave this place." He laughs, a hollow, empty sound. "You can't leave," he says. "They won't let you. They never let anyone leave." I know that I have to get out of there, that I have to escape before he does something to me. I turn to run, but he grabs me by the arm, his grip like a vice. "You can't leave," he repeats. "You have to stay here, with me. We can be happy here, away from the monsters." I struggle, trying to free myself from his grasp. But he's too strong, and I can feel the fear rising in me. I know that I'm trapped, that I'm never going to escape. And that's when I see it. His eyes are changing, becoming darker, more twisted. He's not just insane, he's one of them. He's one of the monsters, and I'm trapped with him. I know that I need to get out of there, away from the other cottage dweller and the monsters of the village. I make a plan to escape, to flee through the woods and find safety somewhere else. I wait until the other dweller is asleep, then I pack a bag with essentials and make my way to the edge of the village. I know that the woods are dangerous, that there are traps and other twisted beings lurking in the shadows. But I also know that I can't stay in the village any longer. As I make my way through the woods, I can feel my heart racing. Every sound, every rustle of leaves, makes me jump. But I keep moving, putting one foot in front of the other. The traps are the worst part. I can barely see them in the darkness, and I know that one wrong step could mean certain death. But I keep my wits about me, trying to avoid the pitfalls and stay on the right path. As the night wears on, I can feel my energy starting to fade. I'm tired and hungry, and my legs ache from all the walking. But I keep pushing forward, knowing that I have to keep moving if I want to survive. And then, finally, I see it. A break in the trees, a clearing ahead. I rush forward, my heart pounding in my chest, and burst out into the open air. I'm free. Free from the monsters, free from the other cottage dweller, free from the village. But I also know that I'm not the same person I was before. The horrors I've witnessed, the fear I've felt, have changed me. I make my way to a nearby town, trying to find a place to rest and recover. But even though I'm safe now, I know that I'll never forget what I've been through. The monsters, the traps, the other cottage dweller, they'll always haunt me, a reminder of the horror that I escaped. But I'm alive, and that's what matters. I survived the monsters of the village, and I know that I'll never take my freedom for granted again.